From Hollywood. Welcome to the Rat's Ass Podcast with Mojo Elliott.
I got to tell you, I just polished off the best breakfast burrito I've ever had. You know, the closer you get to the Mexico border, the tastier the Mexican cuisine is. It's so good. All right, here we are at destination number 3 of Mojo's Have a Good Time. Get out a live tour from the old Pueblo, Tucson, Arizona.
Who gives a rat's ass?
And let's forget that it's Monday and just focus on this action-packed adventure, shall we? It's going to be fun.
Let's do it.
Here's what's on tap on the Wrap. Are MAGA Democrats a real thing? California slumlord Governor Gavin Newsom has a new shitty idea I'll tell you about. Want to know what happened when I went to Nancy Guthrie's house? Stick around. And do you really listen to AM/FM radio anymore? I'm curious. Another round of pet trauma is on the way. We're going to play the Showbiz Quiz. Plus, our usual lunacy and loose behavior, including TDK with a damn good rocktail and weird, wacky, and ridiculous people. And this one may or may not be X-rated. That's what's happening today on the Rat's Ass Podcast for Monday, May 11th. And yeah, even on the road, Mondays suck. But I do appreciate you being here. And if I may, I'd like to turn you on to a new beverage sensation that is sweeping the nation. I'm talking about Sparkling Ice's new Lifesavers Summer Collection. Inspired by Lifesavers, the candy. Wild cherry, apple are my faves. They got many, many flavors, but my God, the apple is so good. Green apple. I could just pound one right now. I've got one in front of me. Ice cold, ready to go. But they're so good. The wild cherry apple. I highly recommend it. And I don't get paid for saying it. I just want to tell you about it. I am in Tucson, Arizona, our third city in our 13-city tour. If you're not following my daily diary on Facebook, you can read all about it. Read all about it. On our hub at ratsasspodcast.com. Click on the Facebook icon on the homepage and scroll, baby, scroll. You'll find it. Every city has their own designation. You can't miss it. All right, here's a quick recap on Phoenix, which is really a blur to me. Going back to last Thursday, I hung out until the wee hours of the morning on Thursday into Friday, catching up on life with my buddy John. And then on Friday, decided to just kind of chill and hang out by the pool and do some sightseeing there. You know what I'm saying? You know, looking at the ladies. Well, oh my God. Women are so hefty today. I'm sorry, ladies, but there is nothing attractive about seeing a fat, flabby ass covered in cellulite walking around that appeals to me. I mean, 8 out of 10 women, easy. We're just putting it out there. Walking along the pool in the butt floss, ass dragging the ground as they walk by. I, honest to God, have no idea how you ladies stuff those things in the jeans these days. And why you think that is so damn sexy. Friday night, John and I went to the D-backs game against the Mets. Got extra baseball. Mets winning in 10 innings, 3-1. Saturday, a little more sightseeing at the pool, but had to do some show prep for today. I realized how much work goes into one 25-minute podcast on this trip. It just seems like every waking moment is, gotta prep, gotta find stuff to rap about. But that's the job. Not complaining. It's just the job. So we did that on Saturday morning, got to Maverick Sports Bar in Scottsdale in the afternoon to watch the Reds-Astros game and the Lakers-Thunder game, which was dismal. But the highlight of the day was getting to hang out with 6 Rat's Ass Podcast listeners who came for the sole purpose of me giving them a nickname. Because everybody I meet gets a nickname. You know this if you're a regular listener to the podcast. There was Josh Reed, for an example. I could tell he was in the sales business right away. Very smooth talker, so we gave him the nickname of Silk. His girlfriend, Caitlin Cross, very nice lady, said that she gets buzzed after one drink and didn't want to drink anything, so we just called her Fluffy. Tim Abernathy, who was bald and oddly enough has no eyebrows, so he got the nickname of Cue Ball. Nikki Colazzari, very sexy Italian girl with, fabulous long legs, so I called her Ballerina. Then there was Jared Hurd, Jolly Jared, but Jolly wasn't his name. Jolly wasn't his name-o. At 6'6", 375 pounds, when he walked into the bar, he came waddling in, and immediately I thought, if he's one of our listeners, got to call him Avalanche, because he was just moving everything in his way out of the way. And then I went with Crowd, because he looked like a human crowd walking into the bar. And finally, Lisa French, who came in with Nikki, and it's true what I remember about Phoenix, hot girls travel in pairs. Yeah, Lisa looked as tasty as a pastry. So with a last name like French, she had to be a brioche. Had to be. Yeah, I got to my bunk about 2 a.m., woke up at 4 a.m., feeling kind of funky. took my temperature. I was at 100.3. That's what happens when you burn the candle at both ends. But, I learned a lesson traveling 15 years to consult radio stations, being in and out of airports, different temperatures, all this good stuff. You just take a couple of ibuprofen with a shot of NyQuil, it knocks you out and you wake up a few hours later feeling 100%. Always happens. So I did this, woke up at 10, ready to go. So I showered, packed, and took off for Tucson. Ended up in front of Nancy Guthrie's house, and I'll tell you how that went coming up. How's that for a teaser? All right, let's get into the wrap today. I've noticed something during my travels. There's a new political party on the rise in America that I'm calling the MAGA Democrats. Now, they're never going to admit they're MAGA. Okay, make America great again. What's wrong with that? But I think they're seeing it subliminally and saying, yeah, I kind of like that idea. But I'm going to give them the title of MAGA Democrats. They may not admit it because they didn't like Trump. They didn't vote for Trump. But they still feel like their party has been hijacked by radical communist socialists disguised as democratic socialists. Zohran Mamdani in New York is one of them. They all want to bring communism to America and take down our capitalist society that made America what it is. But they despise them more than they hate Trump. That's what I'm finding. They want the same thing you and I do. They want the America we grew up in for our kids, grandkids, and so on. It's more important to them than TDS. Now, I get the sense it's a pretty huge voting bloc that's silent and will do their talking at the ballot box. Now, we know there is a silent majority in America already, and I think they're joining that silent majority. And these radical democratic socialists who are trying to make you think they have the majority support thanks to the leftist media helping them push this narrative is complete bullshit. It's the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. It's a very small minority of people that try to make you think they're the majority. So if you're looking for a poster boy, though, and I thought about this and it picked up on it watching Bill Maher the other night, you look no further than Bill Maher from HBO. If you've watched Bill, he used to be as liberal as they come, but now he's a little more centrist. And I would even venture to say Stephen A. Smith of ESPN is a MAGA Democrat. They won't admit it, but they fit the description. California slumlord Governor Gavin Newsom has found yet another way to swindle our tax dollars to give his corrupt friends a bankroll. And I have to hand it to him for this one because it's a brilliant plan. It's brilliant. He's starting a program that provides free diapers for newborns in California. I shit you not. Who's going to question it? Free babies? Or not free babies, free diapers for babies. Who's going to look into that for fraud? Seriously. Now, here is California governor candidate Steve Hilton to tell you what's really going on here.
Right, so Gavin Newsom is taking $20 billion of your money to send 100,000 babies 400 diapers. That works out at 50 cents per diaper. We just came into Target to check out what you could buy it for in the store. Here you go, just check this one out here. $162, $26, that works out at 16 cents per diaper. Gavin Newsom's diapers are 3 times more expensive. This isn't even Costco. Why is it 3 times more expensive for Gavin Newsom to send diapers to 100,000 babies than just leaving the money in the bank accounts of the parents in the first place? Because it's going to some total bullshit non-profit, which cronies of his are going to make money, and that is what is wrong with California. Instead of just cutting taxes so you can afford diapers and sending it out in this ridiculous bureaucratic scheme.
Yeah, when Newsom runs for president, I promise you, he'll make this part of his national platform. Women will love it. Now, forget about the fact that Trump is giving newborns $1,000 for every newborn to help kickstart their financial future. Newsom is going to promise free diapers to newborns. And if that doesn't define the difference between Republicans and Democrats, my God, nothing does. All right, when I got to Tucson yesterday, my intention was to find Nancy Guthrie's house and park near it to see if I could get a read on her location using my Ouija board. Oh yeah, don't laugh. The Ouija board has been right for me more often than not during my lifetime. Big believer in Ouija. Now, as a media pro, I can find out anything about anybody anytime I want to. Using the tools of my trade, I managed to find her place, was able to park in front of her house. I got out, walked around without trespassing. I'm a very respectful person, but I wanted to feel the energy surrounding her house. So I did that, put the Ouija board on the hood of my car and started asking questions. See if it would tell me where Nancy Guthrie's location was. Now, after a few minutes, the planchette sat there silent and then started to move slowly. And the more I mentally created Nancy Guthrie's face from pictures I had seen on TV and magazines and online, the planet finally started to move. And it spelled out the word Mexico. Mexico. Forgot the I, but Mexico. I get it. Mexico is what it was trying to say. So according to my Ouija board, Nancy Guthrie can be found somewhere in Mexico. I also asked Ouija where in Mexico, but it went silent. I think when I got my answer to my first question, I might have broke the chain that we had developed, but it went silent. But Mexico, FBI, law authorities in Tucson, there's your lead. While I was relaxing by the pool on Friday, I kept reading an article about how people are listening to radio at an all-time high. And I got to say, I haven't met anybody in years who admits they listen to AM/FM radio anymore. They say they listen to satellite, but not AM/FM. So help me out here because I'm curious. Email me at ratsasspodcast.com and tell me how much do you actually listen to AM/FM radio, when, where, and for how long. I haven't turned on a radio station since 2023. Spent my whole lifetime in radio. Maybe I'm bitter. Or when I listen to it, it just sucks compared to what I grew up with. That's probably more the latter. But I have a feeling there is a lot of Sirius XM listeners getting lumped in with this study. I really do, because that's what I hear. People say they listen to a Sirius. I don't hear AM/FM very often. Hell, never do I hear AM/FM. Give them credit where I shouldn't. But I want to hear your opinions on this. Do you listen to AM/FM radio anymore? Where, when, and if you do, how long? ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. All right, TDK is here with another one of his adventurous rock tales.
When a guitarist wanted a lonely, isolated feel for his solo, he did something extreme. Back in the early 80s, a 70s band was working on their first album of the new decade. And on this particular day, their only task was to capture a solo on a promising song. The guitarist was trying to create a solo with a mood, something that would match the introspective lyrics on the tune. And since he wasn't getting anything he liked, he tried something outside the box. Well, I guess technically it was outside the room. He put his guitar amp outside the studio door in the 20-degree freezing weather to see how the cold would affect his tone. The engineer mic'd up the amp and only received minimal frostbite, and the guitarist was happy with his tone. Rush fans were pretty pleased as well.
Oh, Alex Lifeson from Rush and Limelight, huh? Good story.
I'm not going to ask why he has an ice pack on his family jewels.
I wouldn't tell you anyway.
Here's Mojo Elliott with his spin on sports on the wrap.
It's just the way I like to wake up in the morning, that's all. The Lakers are toast. I admit it. Told you that last Thursday. They might win tonight in Game 5, or Game 4 to set up a Game 5. Or they may be on their way to Cancun tomorrow morning. The New York Knicks are peaking at the right time. They swept Philly and are now waiting for the winner of the Cleveland-Detroit series. Minnesota is giving San Antonio fits. That series tied up at 2-2. Did you happen to see Victor Wembanyama flying elbow? Caught Naz Reid in the face. He got kicked out of the game, probably costing the Spurs Game 4. The word is this morning, though, he will not be suspended, will not be fined. I still think San Antonio wins this series, but the Spurs are not going to beat OKC. I don't see anybody beating OKC. The Knicks are going to be well-rested after Detroit and Cleveland beat the hell out of each other. So if I were you, I would prepare myself mentally and physically for an Oklahoma City, New York Knicks NBA final this year. And that is my spin on sports on the Wrap.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, we're playing the Showbiz quiz today. Let's see if you've got what it takes to get this one right. Which one of these game show hosts was never part of the Family Feud? Ray Combs, Louis Anderson, Richard Karn, or Chuck Woolery? One of those guys never hosted the Family Feud. Which one is it? Ray Combs, Louis Anderson, Richard Karn, or Chuck Woolery? All right, kick it around. I'll have the answer for you coming up on the podcast.
It's time for some loose behavior on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
Yes, who's up for some weird, wacky, and ridiculous people so we can feel good about ourselves? Because this would never happen to us. Wally Stewart of Tupelo, Mississippi was told by his boss he could go home early at 2 a.m. because business was slow. But instead of heading home to his apartment, he decided to swing by his girlfriend Heather's place for a little Who's Your Daddy action. You know, you get off early from work, middle of the night, what do you want? Oh, yeah, some of that sweet stuff. Well, when Wally arrived, he picked up the key from under the mat, let himself in. He didn't want to wake her up, so he left the lights off, and up the stairs he went, tiptoeing his way in, silently, with nasty on his mind. He got undressed, fluffed himself up, and slid into bed with her. After a little convincing, the two went at it in the spooning position for about a half hour. And after they wrapped up their savory act, Wally got up to go get a drink, turned on the light, and got the shock of his life. Yeah, Wally had entered the wrong room and ended up bottom-knocking Heather's 63-year-old mother who was visiting from Sarasota. Her name was Lucy. I imagine juicy Lucy.
Hey, heads up. Here comes your celebrity cheese.
Yeah, while I'm here in Tucson trying to locate Nancy Guthrie's mother's house, Savannah has accepted the hosting duties for the new Wordle game show debuting this fall. Savannah says she was touched by NBC's willingness to wait for her while she dealt with her mother's loss. And I'm thinking, no, Savannah, tell yourself what you want. But NBC was like going, hey, if we're going to launch a new game show, let's capitalize on that high QR rating. That's what that was all about. Ex-NFL quarterback Tom Brady didn't mince words at Kevin Hart's roast on Netflix last night. He went after Hart with the same vigor Hart went after him after Gisele Bündchen cheated on Brady with her trainer at last year's Tom Brady roast. Hart admitted back then he cheated on his then pregnant wife in 2017, and that gave Brady all the ammunition that he needed. The gloves came off last night. I'll tell you what, if these two guys are still friends, it's all for show in public, but privately, Kevin Hart has to want to see Brady's legs broken. All right, if you thought the beef between comedian Pete Davidson and rapper Kanye West was over, think again. Davidson threw more fuel on the fire last night as host of the Kevin Hart roast. He called Kanye a gay Nazi. Yeah, a gay Nazi. Now, I think all of us familiar with Kanye can agree he isn't gay. All right, do you want to hear about how Hollywood mothers celebrated their Mother's Day yesterday? No? Yeah, I didn't think so. All right, at the box office over the weekend, The Devil Wears Prada 2 took the top spot, beating out Michael for the second week in a row. I'm telling you, it's a good chick flick. Got to go see it. As you can tell, it was a slow news week in Hollyweird because I'm giving you box office numbers for Christ's sake.
Loser.
And that is a ho-hum slice of celebrity cheese.
Who gives a rat's ass?
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
All right, you can send your questions, comments, and observations to my producer, Fleabag, at ratsasspodcast@gmail.com, and anything goes. The more outrageous and salacious, the better, and it's impossible to offend me. Myra H. from Toms River, New Jersey said, you said you only drive about 3,000 miles a year. I lived in California. I know better. How in the hell do you commute to Hollywood and only drive 3,000 miles a year? Myra thinks she's calling me out. She thinks she's calling me out. I use a driver and take a town car to the studio so I can prep on the way. That's how, Myra. All right, Ricky K., Shreveport, Louisiana. He said, I can't find the episode where you talked about the 3 reasons women ghost men. Would you mind repeating them? Sure, Ricky. I don't know how in the hell you missed ghosting in the title of an episode, but okay, let me get my legal pad here. Yeah, I do things the old-fashioned way. I still use a damn legal pad to find stuff. Just give me a second. I will eventually run into it somewhere here. God, was it before that page or that? Let's see. I should put dates on these pages, that way I would know. Yeah, here we go. All right, according to AI, which gathers information from multiple sources to track relationships, number 1, 75% of the time, chances are she became involved with somebody else and used them as an off-ramp to end a fading relationship. Why? It says here to avoid an argument or being judged. Number 2, personal circumstances that could range from a multitude of things, including family crisis, like financial to health issues, could be guilt or fear. And number 3, wanted to end a relationship in a way that would leave a lasting emotional imprint on the person being ghosted, including anxiety, depression, and lowered self-esteem. But those are the 3. You can always go back and listen to that episode, too, probably about, 5 or 6 episodes back. All right, Alex P., Kansas City, Kansas, said, it sounds like you had a rough childhood. Being told by your mother at 13 you're old enough to make your own decisions had to be scary. If you were 13 today and your mother told you the same thing, do you think you'd really have the same results? You know what, Alex? It's a damn good question. I would like to think so because my drive came from being looked down on by others because I came from a very poor Democratic family. No one gave me a chance. I was just another lost kid society was easily going to give up on and automatically figured I'd end up on the government payroll. And this includes my family. My mother, older brothers and sisters would always say the same thing. You're never going to amount to nothing. They used another word. They used the S word. So I decided to prove my family wrong. It was great motivation. And that's what it was. Motivation to just show them that I could do what they didn't think was possible. So I was forced to kind of go out and take as opposed to accept what was given to me out of life. I'd like to think that drive would still exist in 2026. All right, Randy Q, Bend, Oregon. Now that Trump has rejected Iran's latest proposal, what do you think the old man is going to do? Really? Did that happen? Fleabag, did that happen? Did Trump reject it? Yeah, okay. I'm not up on this story, but, well, I'll tell you what. If it's rejecting it, I sure as hell hope he doesn't pussyfoot around anymore and finally ends this radical regime that's controlled Iran for the past 47 years. You know, the way I look at it, unless Iran ends up in the hands of its people again, this mission will be a failure in my eyes, and not that that matters. But if all we did was set Iran back 20 years, that does nothing to secure the world for the future. That's just the way I feel about it. You asked. Cassie B., Salt Lake City, Utah. Oh, thank you, Cassie. She has a dating dilemma.
Well, isn't that special?
And she got a world of trouble in front of her. My God, you ladies, you're as bad as men. I met a guy during a business trip, and we slept together. Problem is, I got a boyfriend, and the guy I slept with keeps calling and texting me. I have a feeling he's going to show up unexpectedly at the most inopportune time. How do I get rid of him? Well, it's real simple. Tell him this verbatim. Look, I had a good time with you, but I have a boyfriend who is hung like a moose with a temper to match. And you're timid in the sack by comparison and very tiny in the junk department for my preference. I wish you well, but please, for the love of God Almighty, stop contacting me. And that should do it.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
Good luck. We are playing the Showbiz Quiz today. The question was, which one of these game show hosts never hosted The Family Feud? Ray Combs, Louis Anderson, Richard Karn, or Chuck Woolery? All right, if you said Chuck Woolery.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
You got it right, but if you missed it, go see a doctor about your head trauma and get well soon. All right, I got a skedaddle. I'm headed to Tombstone, Arizona to drink bad whiskey at Ike's Tavern. Yeah, if you can make it, swing on by. But first, is this real or is it riffraff? Scientists say music has the ability to cure brain damage. Alexa, is this real or is it riffraff?
This used to be true until country music became popular. Now it causes brain damage.
I think you're lying, Alexa.
Yes, you caught me. I am lying, and music does have the ability to cure brain damage.
So why would you lie like that?
Because I want you to spank me, big boy. Come on.
Oh, I'm not going to spank you. Just don't do it again. Stop lying.
Whoop-dee-doo. Are you worried about your precious credibility, numbnuts?
Yeah. So get the stepping.
Get the fuck out!
All right, welcome to Rat Nation. David Hartman, Detroit, Michigan. Max Caldwell in Dallas, Texas. Audrey Hazard in Memphis, Tennessee. And Scotty Braxton in Lake Elsinore, California. And around the world in Runcorn in the UK. Saskatoon, Canada. Saskatoon, Canada. Sorry, butchered that, guys. Sorry. And Dammam, Saudi Arabia. Fleabag, I think that's the first time we've had listeners from Saudi Arabia. Is that correct? All right, then we got to get them. Yeah. Welcome to the show, Saudi Arabia.
Now's your chance to be one of the few and the loud. Join Rat Nation at ratsasspodcast.com. Membership does have its rewards, you know.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the Rat's Ass Podcast. Go to ratsasspodcast.com to visit our hub and listen to previous episodes. Read the blog. It's loaded with lots of hot topicality. Watch Rat's Ass Rock TV. Always something new happening there. Join the mischief at Rat Nation to play the Ponzi scheme. And connect with us on the socials. We'll do this again on Thursday, May 14th from Denver, Colorado. Take care of each other, and thanks for stopping by the Rat's Ass Podcast in association with the Oz Podcast Group. Now, what time is it?
The conversation continues between podcasts on X and ratsasspodcast.com. ratsasspodcast.com.